Welcome to Studio D on the campus of the University of Oklahoma. This is Sooner Sports Pad. And now, here's your host, Shiloh Sellers.
Hello and welcome to tonight's episode of Sooner Sports Pad. I'm your host, Shiloh Sellers, and standing next to me are my analysts, Christian Miller and Sam Brown. Guys, I can barely hear myself think, who is making all of this noise?
Yeah, it is a loud house tonight. We've got members from the university's ROTC program. We respect them being here. A special Veterans Day edition of Sooner Sports Pad, and we're happy to have them.
Yeah, and please join me in giving a warm welcome to men's gymnasts Gage Dyer and Vitaly Guimaraes.
There you go. We've got a great show for you guys tonight. Later on, Chloe Sparks, our very own Sooner Sports Pad's Chloe Sparks, will talk about the volleyball team's bounce-back season.
Plus, Sam and I go head-to-head to see who's our favorite hooper, men's and women's teams, for the Crimson and Cream. Ooh, that rhymed.
Well, football was back in action on Owen Field as the Sooners took the Cyclones by storm. After a near comeback, the Sooners were able to secure their 42-41 win over Iowa State. Under the Saturday Night Lights, the Sooners shined in the first half. Jalen Hurts completed 14 of 17 attempts, including one 63-yard rocket to CeeDee Lamb in the second quarter. And Kennedy Brooks finally replaced Jalen Hurts in rushing yards with 142 yards on 15 carries. He had a spectacular 48-yard sprint that ended in the end zone at the end of the third, but it was Parnell Motley who disrupted Iowa State's two-point conversion attempt in the last few minutes of the game to lock in the Sooner win. Saturday night was an emotional roller coaster for all of us.
That it was.
What stood out to y'all on the field?
Just look at the scoreboard. It was an offensive showdown, and a lot of players on both sides had big days. But the best player in my eyes on the field on Saturday was CeeDee Lamb. Unbelievable yet again. He's putting in stellar performances week in and week out, and that continued against the Cyclones. The junior wide receiver finished with 8 catches for 167 yards and 2 touchdowns. Not only is he 6th in the country in receiving yards, and he's tied for 1st in touchdowns now, but he also moved into a tie for 2nd place in OU history in receiving TDs. He's always been a great route runner. He's always had great hands. But this year, when he gets the ball in his hands in the open field, I mean, it's a sight to behold. There isn't anyone in the country that's stopping him. And award season is coming up. The Blitnikoff Award goes to the best wide receiver in college football. CeeDee Lamb's the best wide receiver in college football. I'm just connecting the dots. Sounds like CeeDee should be picking up some awards.
Sounds like 2 + 2 = 4. It's
Sounds
simple
like
math
sounds
to me.
like it's trophy season for CeeDee Lamb.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of silver lining to take away from this game. CeeDee's performance was one of them, and OU's performance in the first half was another. They were dominant all first half.
Yeah.
Went into halftime with a score of 35-14. Listen, Jalen Hurts and CeeDee Lamb, as usual, got out to a hot start. OU went up 14-0 with 8 minutes to go in the first quarter. They were dynamic. Defense made a great 3-and-out stop in between there, and Jalen had 4 touchdowns with 8 minutes to go in the second quarter. 8 minutes to go. He ended up getting another one at the end of the half, and on his 4th, he made CeeDee look like a grown man against boys. Take a look at this run. Looked like a 110-meter sprinter there. Look at him. Going the distance, take it to the house. Afterwards, Lincoln Riley went as far as to say that this is one of the best performances he's had in his tenure and a half. One of the best. It's high praise.
Yeah.
High praise.
The countdown begins for the Sooner voyage down to Bear Country. Sooner Sports Pad's Kelsey Bickerstaff caught up with CeeDee Lamb earlier today.
Kelsey Bickerstaff here with wide receiver CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee, you had 8 catches for 167 yards, 2 touchdowns. How do you feel looking back on your performance?
I feel pretty good, but definitely not content on how I ended the game. So got a lot of work to do there, and I'm just looking forward to continuing to finish our games.
On the road this weekend to Waco, what are some of the challenges Baylor poses as a defense?
Them guys are very aggressive and they're very smart with their play. Whatever they're coached well, and them guys are very, like I said, they're very aggressive and they're smart with it.
Another night game, College Game Day will be there, and you're playing an undefeated team. Is there a more excited or stronger mentality going into this game?
Not necessarily more excited. We treat every game the same, but we have to play with our best foot forward, and we know that our backs are against the wall, and we have a lot more to play for. But Baylor definitely has been doing a lot of things great up to this point. Obviously, they're undefeated, so like I said, we got to play with our best foot forward and mistake-free football.
Thanks, CD.
The men's and women's basketball teams were in action this past weekend. Sam, Christian, how'd they do?
Well.
They did well, yeah. Ron Kruger and the men's basketball teams have a lot of questions to answer this season after all the offseason changes, but after 2 games, there's a lot of positive signs so far. The Sooners took down the Minnesota Golden Gophers in South Dakota in comeback fashion over the weekend by a score of 71-62. They actually trailed by 8 with 12 minutes left, but then outscored Minnesota 28-11 the rest of the way to seal the deal. Another balanced scoring performance for Oklahoma, too. 5 players finished with at least 8 points, led by Brady Mannix, 17 points and 10 rebounds. Up next, they've got a challenge in Oregon against Oregon State and Portland. But there's a lot to like about this team. I mean, they're young, they're athletic. They're going to have some rough patches this season just because they're so young. But the sky's the limit for this group over the next few years. They're going to be dangerous.
Yeah.
Dangerous.
That PK Invitational's got a whole lot of great teams in the field. I'm looking forward to seeing it. Listen, this women's team is in the midst of their preseason WNIT tournament, and they're coming for head tops. First round, they beat Prairie View A&M 94-48. Skunked them. Yesterday, they took down UAB with a score of 82-75. Listen, the core that I talked about last week of Anna Yanusa, Maddie Williams, and Taylor Robertson are lethal. Yanusa had 25 points, 8 rebounds, and 8 steals. 8 steals. Almost like a triple-double in steals. It's ridiculous.
She might as well move to New York with those pockets.
Honestly, Maddie Williams put up 24 and 13 and shot 9 for 10 from the free throw line. Listen, I'm a journalism major, so math isn't my strong suit, but that's 90% from the free throw line. That's nice. And T-Rob did what she usually does from the three-point line. She had 17 points. I believe 12 points came from deep. She's a shooter. She's nice. She's nice. They got Missouri State on Thursday, and I honestly think they will be in the finals on Sunday. So you should get to the NNC Thursday and Sunday.
I'm still trying to figure out what 9 divided by 10 is.
9?
I was carrying the 1 and everything.
It's math. Not my strong suit.
We'll get back to the hardwood with Sooner Sports Plaid's Chloe Sparks when we return. The last few years have been a period of growth for the Sooner volleyball team. Sooner Sports Pad's Chloe Sparks gives us the inside scoop on what's driving their success.
After undergoing a mediocre season last year, the Sooners are back with what seems to be a completely new team. The morale is high as OU sits pretty, ranked at number 3 in the Big 12.
When we first got here last year, new coach and everything, everyone was really skeptical about who we are, who we were going to be.
The addition of Coach Lindsay Gray Walton in 2018 marked the start of change for the Crimson Crew. This season, they welcome new assistant coach Colin Irons, along with graduate transfer Ashlyn Dunbar and transfer Paige Johnson, all of whom have had a large impact on the squad's mentality.
They're unbelievable. We believe in everything that they do. They trust us and they believe in us. They're always that extra step of reinsurance if we need it, but they also hold us accountable in a way that they love us instead of a way that's barking at us. So that's the big thing, is that we don't want to disappoint them. It's to the point where we don't want to disappoint them, so we just know that we have to be better than who we are.
However, junior defensive specialist Keaton Kenley says the biggest impact bringing life into the Sooners' play comes from off the court.
We didn't have many supporters, but now we've proved ourselves all through last year, and then going into this year, people just started showing up because they believed in us, and we're a team that needs the crowd, and they're that extra pump for us.
At this point last season, the Sooners' record was 14-10. This season, they are currently 15-7. Overall, the ladies have outpaced their opponents in kills with 1,143 compared to 1,087. Assists 1,060 to 1,015, and aces 106 to 93. The Star Libero leads the Big 12 in both digs with 398 and digs per set averaging 5.
All of our mentality on defense, little people, big people, is we don't let the ball hit the ground. It doesn't matter how you get it up as long as it's up. So it's something we work on in practice every single day, and that's our identity as a team.
The volleyball team has been checking chores off their to-do list. Chores that include sweeping out teams like Kansas and TCU.
But knowing the people around you are giving into you and buying into your team, and they just see that hard work, that's what's really fun. It makes you want to work harder for the people that are watching.
Chloe Sparks, Sooner Sports Pad.
One was an All-American vaulter, and the other won the Big 12 title conference on floor. Help me welcome men's gymnast Vitaly Guimaraes and Gage Dyer.
Appreciate it. Comes in with a slight flex. We'll take it.
I would flex it too if I had one.
Yeah, no
I can't blame
kidding.
you.
Hey, you guys, the season is just around the corner. What's the excitement level as the new season approaches?
I think we're just excited to get back out there and prove people that, we're still here and we're still ready to fight and, show our best. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely coming in as second place. Not a lot of people expect us to do as well because we lost such a big senior class, but we're also bringing in a lot of new faces, new freshmen to the team, so we're just going to do whatever we can and get back out there.
Yeah.
There you go.
Vitaly, both your parents gymnasts.
Yes.
Correct?
Yes.
What kind of impact have they had on you and your gymnastics career?
They were always a role model to me because, I grew up in the gym as well. So both my parents were always kind of telling me what to do, what not to do in the gym. So it was definitely a lot of support, constant support. And they kind of just pushed me every day to be the best gymnast I can be. So it's a lot of help from them.
Yeah, there you go. Gage, meanwhile, you're entering your junior season now, kind of stepping in as one of the leaders on this team. What have you learned from your first 2 years here that you can really apply?
The work ethic. Watching coming in as a freshman and watching the seniors I had 2 seniors my freshman year, and how they led the team and what they expect from me has kind of carried over into these last 2 years. Basically just doing what I can, putting in all the work I can every single day and just, get the most out of it.
Awesome.
I think Shiloh's got... Yeah, let's hear it. I think Shiloh's got an audience question for us.
Yes, I'm here with Allison. She's got a question for y'all.
Okay, so what does your pre-meet ritual look like?
You want to go first?
Yeah. I like to eat light food, kind of just like a sandwich or whatever, and then usually listen to my favorite pump up songs and just get ready for a showdown.
What are they?
Oh man, Ghostface Killers.
Okay. Vitaly, what about you?
It's pretty much the same thing, kind of eat very light, just get some carbs in, and then kind of just hang around, let my body rest before the meet, and then kind of just listen to some music to help me relax.
Any Ghostface Killer on your?
Some NBA YoungBoy for sure.
Wow, I'm impressed.
I like it.
The Sooners are dominating on the courts, but who's catching our analysts' attention? Find out after the break.
Thanks to our cornerstone television partners, OU Medicine, Anheuser-Busch, OU Extended Campus, and our community partners, Landers Auto Group, Devon Energy, Coca-Cola, and OU Medicine.
Welcome back. It's time for Face Off, so make sure to be paying attention because you guys will get to pick our winner at the end. That was a great response. I loved it. All right, guys, are you ready? Because it sounds like they're ready.
Yeah, they're ready. I am
totally ready. First face-off question. I want to know who your favorite OU B-baller is.
I'll go back to the men's team for my pick. There's a lot of talent, but I'm going to go with one of the 4-star recruits that the Sooners picked up this offseason. Davion Harmon is my pick. He's a sneaky player for Lawrence Kruger. Through 2 games, the 4-star guard out of Denton, Texas, is already 3rd on the team with over 15 points a game to go along with 3.5 rebounds. He also made quite the impression in his debut at the Lloyd Noble Center with 23 points and 2 blocks. 2 blocks from a guard, that's not bad. Harmon fits right into Lon Kruger's system as a point guard because of his athleticism, his decision making. He can finish at the rim, as you see there, and his energy has already become contagious in the few months that he's been here to the rest of his teammates. You can see the boost that he provides to this squad, the balance that he provides to this squad. Like I said, a lot of talented players on both teams, but I really do think that by the time Davion Harmon leaves, he could cement his history as one of the best players here at Oklahoma. I think he can be that good. Oh, yeah.
Wow. High praise for Davion. I think he'll be good.
Yeah, put out the fire, jeez.
He's a lefty, so I'm a fan. Listen, I'm going to have to go with the three-point bomber, Taylor Robertson. I talked about it earlier. This girl's cash. Cash. I hate to do it, but I got to talk about some of her stats because they are ludicrous. Last season, she shot a ridiculous 46% from the three-point line, 2nd in college basketball, 5th in total threes made per game, which is, I mean, atop the charts in the NCAA. She set an OU program record with 105 threes in a season for a freshman. Another record, 33.8 minutes per game. Another freshman OU record. She is vital for this team's success. Seems like her release is 0.2 seconds. She looks like Steph Curry or Trae Young or one of those lethal shooters. She's a product of the Steph Curry era, and I guarantee you we might see her jersey up in the rafters when she leaves the Crimson and Cream.
I'm excited to see what kind of records Davion Harmon breaks this year.
Hey, it's not going to beat Taylor's, I promise.
I love how Sam sneaks in his pick just at the very end of it.
Nice try.
All right, well, I'm here with Megan. She's got your next face-off question.
So what team do you think will take #1 in the college football playoff rankings?
So there's an important distinction. It's who we think they will pick, not who they think they should pick. And, you know, there's a clear top 2 right now. As much as I dislike this team, I think the committee will stick with Ohio State for now. I think I like the Buckeyes right now. If you look at the numbers, trust me, guys, I hate them just as much as you do. If you look at the numbers, though, they've been the most dominant team in the country so far. They've won their games this season by an average margin of over 42 points a game. Easily the best in the country. The Buckeyes have one of the best quarterbacks, running backs. Yes, of course, plant the flag. Yes, of course, plant the flag. Let's plant the flag all day. I love it. We're not going to play in Columbus anytime soon, though, sadly. So, listen, Ohio State, one of the best quarterbacks in football, best running backs, offensive lines. Their defense is allowing less than 9 points per game. So, we all know the college football playoff loves the metrics, and the metrics right now love Ohio State. So, as good as the other team has been, I think they'll stick with Ohio State for now.
It definitely helps they're going against JV high school teams, but I digress.
Hey, Maryland isn't special.
I'm going to have to go with the team that just took down Bama in Tuscaloosa. That's the LSU Tigers. As Coach O said, go Tigers. Listen, they just took down the top dogs in the SEC. They might not have been #1 in Bama, but they were #1 in everyone's eyes. Beat the 8-season streak, losing to Bama. Thank goodness. They now have Joe Burrow as the Heisman frontrunner at the helm. What's not to love about this team? They've beaten every team that they put in front of them, and that includes 4 top 10 teams. Texas, Auburn, Florida, and now Bama. There's a reason. There's a reason. And then 2 of these 4 teams they've beaten in the road games. They beat Bama and Tuscaloosa, and I believe they beat Florida.
No, they beat Texas and Austin.
And Texas and Austin, excuse me. You know what I meant.
What a
but
big
it's
win there
4 top
against
10
Texas,
teams.
guys.
There's a
I mean,
reason.
they're
going to be #1.
Yeah, they are.
I promise.
You're promising. You promise.
Well, we are coming to the end of face-off, and you know what that means. It's viral video time. Show me what you got.
All right, everyone remembers all the fireworks from Saturday's game, but actually one moment after the game stood out to me more than anything else. Lincoln Riley and his players talking after the game with a special guest. Take a look.
I'll tell you this, there's something bigger about what we can do here, just as human beings. Okay, a lot of you guys saw Raiden circulated, went viral on some tweets, okay, because he was being bullied in his school. Okay, he had the guts to stand up to it. Okay, and one of the things that he wanted to do, one of the things that he and his family love is watching you guys play. So Barry Finney, our one game ball tonight, and he will break us down from here. Goes my man Ray.
Hey, awesome moment for our guy Raiden there. Awesome for the team to see the impact that guy's had on him. And just another reminder that, you know, football is more than just a game. And those players, they're more than just players.
Yeah. And sports is more than just a game as well.
Exactly.
But switching to the NFL from college, listen, Dancing with the Stars is a great opportunity for post players. Hines Ward did great on it, and I think Dak could do well as well. Let's take a look. You know what? I got to give it to him. That's a lot of hip
He's good
movement.
with it, yeah.
Hey, him and Victor Cruz might have something going on with Dancing in the Stars afterwards.
Maybe they can be each other's partners.
Maybe. It's 2019.
It's 2019. Anything can happen.
The time has come. It's time to choose our champion. I want you to cheer the loudest for whoever you thought was best. Let me hear it if your favorite was Sam. Work for it, Sam. Work. I guess Sam had a mic drop moment.
Hey, it's all right. I don't need the theatrics.
Oh, well, we're about to find out if you do. Let me hear it if your favorite was Christian. Can you hear that, Sam? That is the sound of defeat because Christian won that one. That's all the time we have now, but what's better than a game night? Join us for ours when we return. Well, we were so excited that we just couldn't wait to get started. They're each playing heads up. They've had a certain time limit to try to get as many as they can correct. We've got our analysts on one side, our gymnasts on the other. They are going at it, literally head to head. Let's see. Oh, that was a pretty hard one. I think we've got about 4 right over here. The time is up. How many did you get?
2.
All right, guys, make sure to be checking out our Facebook and our Twitter. We'll be naming the winner on our Twitter page. Good night.